Just started. Let me know if you see that.
Yeah,
Good.
we're good.
All right, we're off and running. So yeah, Ken, thanks for making this happen, man.
No, thank you, sir. I appreciate the opportunity.
100% this is some of the most fun that I have every week, quite frankly, is like getting to talk to Linchpin people all around the world. It's if I could do nothing but this, it would be awesome. But when I'm located just outside of Seattle, Washington, when we started chatting, give me a little bit of where are you located and what are you doing for an occupation these days?
So currently in Jacksonville, Florida, in the Navy, stationed up in Kings Bay, Georgia, which is just in exit one there on St. Mary's. But you say Washington State. I used to be stationed at Whidbey Island some years ago.
Yes. Yep. And what's your occupation in the Navy?
So I'm Master at Arms, Senior Chief. So been in just hit over 16 years now, and then getting ready to transfer to Suda Greece here next month.
Going to Greece.
Yes.
Is that something which is going to make you smile or frown?
A little bit of both, because smile, obviously, Greece is beautiful, but a little bit of a frown. It's going to be a dependent restricted tour for me. So
Oh, really?
a year away from the wife, but we're looking forward to her coming out and visit, making some new memories together, doing some traveling.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Man, and how long will it be? Did you say that?
1 year. So as soon as I get there, I'll be selecting orders right away again for maybe my last tour.
I was going to say, is this something did you have to do a tour like this to potentially make E9, or is this just kind of the cards that you got dealt, or how did this come your way?
So the Navy kind of recently changed its advancement when it came for the senior enlisted. So I just recently was promoted to senior chief, but I had to compete with the legacy senior chiefs for those 8 orders. And so of the scenarios that were available, Greece was best case scenario.
Okay. Okay. All right. Gotcha. And what are the duties of a master at arms for anyone who's unfamiliar, which most
Uh,
people
so
probably are?
So Master at Arms is basically military police. We adopted our lingo from the British Navy when we decided, to get our own independence, but we adopted some of the terminology from them. Scud being rumor or a water fountain, things of that nature. So Master at Arms is equivalent to military police, which in itself has several different jobs within it, but in the grand scheme of things, military police is the most related.
And what's daily life look like for you? I mean, because people who maybe don't know, some people probably don't know that the military has its own police force, and like, why would you need cops, so to speak, on a military
Right.
base? Like, what's the deal?
So the best answer I could give you as to what my daily life looks like is constantly varied. That's why CrossFit's so great.
Perfect.
But my current assignment up in Kings Bay, Georgia, with a Marine Corps Security Force battalion. So we're an integrated unit. So there's not too many units within the Navy Master Arms that are integrated with the Marines. So I'm in one of those, and we provide security for the submarines that are up there in Kings Bay and their assets.
Okay. Okay, interesting. And how is it working with the old Leathernecks?
It's actually it's quite interesting, dynamic. Again,
Dynamic.
constant.
What a great word.
Yeah. No, I've met some great people. I've had some fantastic opportunities there. Although I wouldn't want to relive every experience that I've had there, I am thankful for what I have learned, and I wouldn't take those experiences away.
Do you have an idea on what the future holds, meaning um, at 20 years, stay or go?
I don't want to give myself an ultimatum,
Okay, yeah, sure, fair enough.
but the current trajectory is to maybe set the sea bag down and see what's in store out there at the 20-year mark.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
anything can change, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean it's a big world out there. I did some time in the Navy as well, and I remember leaving the Navy to enter the civilian world, and it was just, if you don't know anything else, it is, disruptive and jarring and different and, potentially scary, but it's also like, truth be told, the military is a very small part of the entire ecosystem. Like most things are actually outside
Yeah.
of, of the military. And I remember having this one chief back in the day when, it became apparent that I was going to take off. And he was like, why do you want to leave? He's like, nothing is out there. And I remember thinking to myself, I think actually everything's out there. Like, I think most of the world is actually out there.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's it could be an interesting world to be a part of,
How long ago did you leave the Navy?
Oh, dude, it's been a long time ago. I left in 2004, 2005.
If you were to go back to 2004, 2005 and tell yourself anything, what would you say?
Um, Probably not to be as scared as I was and to just because like I said, now in hindsight, most of it is out there. And just to be a little bit more courageous and just try new things and realize I don't have to get it right on the first time. And
Mm,
also, sorry, one of my children has got me sick. I'm gonna try not to just cough during the entire interview. I'll try to hit mute when I can. But um, I felt like I didn't have any transferable life skills that any employer would have any interest in any way, shape, or form. But I don't, so this is not supposed to paint civilians in a negative light because I am a civilian and I've been a civilian for far longer than I was in the military. But there is something about the military culture, like there just really is about um, the discipline, being able to like have a serious work ethic, to have some drive, to be self-motivated, to know how to be a part of a team and get along with others, to motivate other people, to lead other people, to be able to communicate messages, to deal with adversity, like all those skills are actually far more difficult, I've found, to acquire than if an employer gets you. They can probably teach you what they do at that company, but they can't teach you to do all those other things that,
mm,
have been instilled with a lot of people from military service. And so I don't think I just realized how far, I don't know if you call them soft skills or whatnot, how far those soft skills actually have transference.
yeah.
So,
Well, probably make it significantly more value to have those skills going into the outside market. That way, the
oh
employer
yeah.
doesn't have to pay for that training, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, in the military, the wonderful thing is nobody cares about your feelings. Like you just have to do the work. Like no
Yeah,
one cares that you're tired. Like
yeah,
no one can like do the work. And you're
right.
gonna stay here and do the work with everyone else until the work is done, and you're not gonna go home before that. And like that is actually a really valuable skill to a lot of employers. You're like, look, I'm willing to just grind it out. Like I'm not gonna check out early. Like we're gonna stay here, we're gonna get it done. They're like, Roger that. That's fantastic. We can work with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I had a chief back in the day said, "Hey, we're only going to work a half day today." So everyone's like, "Oh wow, we're only gonna work a half day today." And he's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Hey, chief, it's half the day. When are we going to go?" And he's like, "No, no, there's 12 hours and half of a day. Yeah,
yep, yes,
we're working
sir.
a half day today."
Yep. That and you can only just get away with that when somebody signed your life away in a contract.
Right,
It's I also just remember the old classic, good news, everybody, we're gonna work through lunch today and get off hungry.
right, right.
Like,
When
great. Super.
when surf and turf is at the galley, you're always wondering, what's the news we're going to get today? Yeah.
Super, super, super. So what I guess you had such a cool story of fitness in the military and bringing it to others, that you reached out and wanted to share that story. So what, kind of give me, I guess, a bit of your experience or journey of finding CrossFit and then your desire to kind of bring that to some of your fellow sailors, if you will.
So I reached out because the platform that you've created at Linchpin and with the Beyond the Whiteboard app has just made it so incredibly accessible to a lot of my shipmates, and it's really just been like a domino effect, and
That's
it's
cool.
really just taken off very recently at our command, through the message that I sent you, and what what I find so amazing is like if you were to ask me a couple years ago, like, hey, Ken, like a couple of these, so and so, they're going to be adamantly working out every day at home, and I'd be like, you're crazy. This guy, you're like,
No
no,
way.
I invite him out to work out and be like, oh, I can't do that, or no, there's no way, or that's just not for me, or I don't want to do that. And then one as I mentioned in the message I sent you, one of my fellow senior chiefs there, Senior Chief Martin, he came back from Bahrain. He was previously stationed here, so I knew him prior to him leaving. Came back and he's like, "Hey man, like, I want to do this with you." And I was like, "Cool, like let's roll." And of course, at the beginning he'd kind of have some little resistance, maybe a few excuses, and then
Sure.
we found some ways to navigate around that, but he's had like immense success. And so I think with like Mike specifically, it's like shown some of these other people like, hey, Mike's getting it. Mike's had great success. Like I can do that too. And maybe, realistically, maybe I wasn't demonstrating the best. But Mike has just like is really like that first sending that first domino, and we've had like 14 people to date sign up for Linchpin. Some of the Marine officers, a couple of the Marines. We've had multiple sailors. We've had my buddy Dan and his wife, like they're working out together in their garage. Like it's just so incredible. And so I wanted to send the message to you like, hey, thank you for creating this. I don't know if you realize the totality of the impact that you're having.
Well, thank you. You're the one out there spreading the word, quite frankly.
Well, I think I'm not really spreading the word. I think like Mike and Dan and my buddy Nick Brookie is one of the corpsmen. Like they're just these guys are the ones that's really like grassroots, just like making it happen. Um, and it's so phenomenal. And like I said, if you had asked me like a couple years ago, like, hey, could you imagine so and so doing this a few years ago? I would hope so, but probably not.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this might actually confuse people, right? Who, because most people are civilians, most people aren't in the military. That most people would assume, you look like a fit guy, that most people in the military must look like you and behave like you and perform like you, and that there's just a culture of fitness, a culture of physical excellence, a culture of nutrition. I mean, you're at the forefront of the nation's defense, so to speak. And so, why in the world would you ever have to like twist somebody's arm to work out or have meet any resistance at all? So, what is the actual physical culture currently in 2025? I know you can't speak for the military in general, but just your personal experience that you could express to somebody who hasn't lived, in your shoes.
No, great thought there, Pat. So like, the military is a reflection of society. So whatever is happening or happens in society is or will happen in the military. And so obviously, um, our society is not very healthy right now. And the people who are coming into the military or just in the military in general, it there we are a reflection of that population.
Mm,
So what metabolic diseases there are in society, essentially a lack of care for fitness, it carries over. And so,
mhm,
um, yes, there is the discipline that is instilled in you, and there's some rigidity and some structure. But day in and day out, when it's like, hey, we need to meet mission, we're doing more with less, more with less. Fitness and that culture of fitness tends to take a back burner.
mm,
Like obviously you've been in the space forever, the benefits of what fitness has, what it can do for a team, how it can pull people together, make organizations stronger. um, so I will say like it's not where personally I would like it to be, uh,
right.
but it doesn't mean that we can't improve and get better, and that we can control what we can control and do what we can with what we have.
Is there, um, if somebody's in the military, either, full-time soldier, Marine, airman, whatever it happens to be, sailor, do most occupations get an amount of time each day that is supposed to be for PT, or is that not the case anymore? Is it unit to unit, or what's that deal?
I don't want to make any broad sweeping statements, but typically it's going to be different from like unit to unit. So
Okay.
currently our mission is a 24/7 mission due to the security requirements that we have. So the sailors that are standing the watch, they'll work their schedule. It's probably somewhere around like 14-hour days when you include their arm up and down load and transportation times and things of that nature. So when it comes to like for PT, that's not going to be included in their
Gotcha.
workday because they're out there physically standing a post or they have
Okay.
watch.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting. And what is the physical culture? I guess we are now because when I speak to different people who are in the military, there does seem to be quite a variance to it. Like some bases, for example, I guess it depends on who the CO of the base is. If the CO is all fired up about physical fitness, then it becomes a priority. All of a sudden, the base gym has bumper plates, and all of a sudden, there's a big order being placed with Rogue that didn't happen during the last command or whatnot. And then if the next CO could care less, then that's not the case. And so is when I was in, uh, it was basically just like Vietnam style error PT and bench press is like all we did. And then, little by little, functional fitness started creeping a bit. It was past my time. And now it seems like the word functional has crept in more and more to military bases and gyms and whatnot. What's it like where you are?
So with the Marine culture, they definitely prioritize physical fitness, and so like being integrated with that unit. Our CO is a Marine, and so they do prioritize the fitness. So through the MWR, which is the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation Center, they've done a fantastic job of facilitating not only like our command and placing some new gym equipment inside of like our restricted areas, but also they've outfitted. They just recently redid a new part of the base gym where it's got
Hmm.
they don't call it CrossFit, but it's a functional fitness area. They call it NOFs, and so there's like a turf in there, a bunch of bumper plates and bars and racks and rowers and I mean, it's pretty awesome. So if you wanted to go in there and lead like a group PT session, can totally do it. Or you can reach out to the MWR and they could lead a session as well, which they've done multiple times for us, which has been incredible as well.
Do you have to take the Navy PT test or the Marine Corps PT test?
So I take the Navy PT test, but if you're a lot of sailors who are embedded in Marine Corps units could have the option to do the Marine Corps test. So like currently,
Nobody's going to opt in for a 3 mile run.
so currently I'm working on my Fleet Marine Force warfare qualification.
Okay.
And so the officers who are pursuing that have to do the Marine PFT, but um, I was required to do the combat fitness test, which has
What is that? Because that
so
didn't
there.
exist when I was around.
Say again.
That didn't exist when I was around. So what is that?
So the combat fitness test, you start with your boots and utes. So you're in your fatigue pants, your boots, t-shirt. You starts with a 800-meter run. I think they like say 880 yards or something to that effect. Which first lap I went out way too hot.
Awesome.
Yeah. Uh, you have a certain time domain for a score, and then there's ammo can presses. I believe like the ammo can weighs somewhere around 40 pounds. I don't remember exactly, so don't quote me. You're going for max repetition in 2 minutes. It's shoulder to overhead. So I was like, "Can you
Can
get
you
the
push press it?
Can you push press it? Can you push jerk it?" And they're like, "Yeah, yep. You just got to
Cool.
lock."
Okay.
I'm like, "Great, this is awesome. Yeah, make sure my torso is nice and vertical. Lock out the arms. Here we go." Then you do a portion that's called maneuver under fire. So they're not actually like shooting at you or anything, but there's a series of cones that are set up. You start in the prone position, you get up, you run to a cone, and I could be messing this up now. It's been a minute since I've done it, but
Sure.
you grab some ammo cans, you go down, you do some zigzags, you grab like a fake grenade and you throw the grenade supposed to hit within the box and you grab the person and you buddy drag them, and then you're also weaving back and forth through these cones, and you fire them and carry them back. Then you have to like grab ammo cans and run down and back again. I probably have the order all messed up, but it's it's a few minutes long, and if you're not training general physical preparedness, you're gonna feel that one.
I
We had
bet.
a few people calling for dinosaurs afterwards, and it was good to witness. Yeah,
I bet. And then is that the end of it there?
for that portion, yep. And then I mean, that was one of the physical requirements for the this qualification of pin the pursuing. But it's awesome because it's like, hey, we're coming together at our joint command. It's building rapport amongst the different services. So it's pretty cool.
That is absolutely that's pretty cool. I mean that start stop maneuver under fire, zigzag some cones, carry some ammo cans. That actually sounds that's pretty cool. That's better
Yeah.
than, for example, a set of push-ups or sit-ups.
Right. Right.
It seems like to be a bit more transference there as well. What so what does do you work out at the base gym or where do you throw down?
So it's really kind of wherever I can get it in, just based on like time and the demands of work. So I do have like a setup here in the garage at home, but do work out very frequently up at the base gym. Um, Kind of blend between the two. So I live close to another base as well. So I'll like on the weekends or something, if it's just ripping roaring hot in the garage, I might just go over to that base gym, and since I'm significantly closer to that one. But during the weekdays, typically in the mornings, I'll head up to the base. Try and get up before everybody else does. That way, like when the phone's ringing, I'm already done with the workouts, and the most important thing is done.
You know, I don't know why this just popped back into my head, but I do a Linchpin member interview each week, and we've got at least a couple Linchpin members in Greece that have interviewed.
Oh, really?
Yep, yep, for sure.
You
English
know,
speakers. I can find the interview, their names and whatnot, and I can picture them in my head right
yeah,
now. Nikos, I know, is one individual's name, and the other individual's name is escaping me at the moment. But yeah, you've got some comrades over there in Greece
awesome, awesome.
that they could, make sure you go to the good places to eat or whatever it is and tell you how to
Yeah,
throw down. And yeah,
yeah.
there's some good folks over there. They go hard.
I was previously stationed in Greece about 10 years ago, and there was one CrossFit affiliate that was about 40 minutes away. It was CrossFit Rethymno. They're awesome people out there. So like on the weekends, I would uh, go drop into their facility, which was totally awesome. But you talk about like when you were in his Vietnam era style stuff, and when I was very first stationed up in Kings Bay, like 2009, CrossFit was like not in the military at all. Not really very.
Hmm.
And I don't want to say it wasn't popular, but it wasn't, I guess, as well known or as adopted. So there was an affiliate, CrossFit Camden, that was in the town. I remember a buddy might be like, "Hey, we should go check out this gym." I'm like, "What is it?" He's like, "It's CrossFit." I'm like, "What's CrossFit?"
Right.
Right. And he's just like, you just like high intensity, and you like, deadlift 135 pounds, like a whole bunch of like 50 times. And like, why would I want to do that? Like deadlifting 450 pounds once seems way cooler.
Hmm.
Why would I lift a barbell
Of
50
course,
times?
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But it obviously got you hooked.
Yeah. Well, so I avoided that. I avoided that one. And
Gotcha.
then later on, I transferred to Whidbey Islands, and I was in an aviation squadron out there as like their military police, and we deployed out on an aircraft carrier, John C. Stennis, and there was no functional fitness equipment out there at all. This guy named Henry in my squadron. He was pretty jacked, pretty lean, pretty strong, and I was just like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Right. Get me on board this.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm doing CrossFit." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What? No way. There's no way. You can't be that strong doing." Of course, I don't know what I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Super ignorant. And he's like, "No, come on, we'll just show up. We'll do a workout here in the AF gym." It was Angie, like 100 push-ups, 100.
Oh,
I think it's sit-ups or pull-ups, squats. I forget all of them,
Get
but
the order, be 100 of each.
yeah. So I do remember the the push-ups, and I brought like a band with me. So I'm like, oh, 100 push-ups, that's it. And I brought a bit thing I'm going to use the band, like, for more
To make them
resistance.
harder.
I need more resistance. And he's like, "What's the band for?" I'm like, "For the push-ups." He's like, you're gonna be just fine without that band. I'm like, "No way." Of course,
Hmm.
I'm like 60 reps in and I can't do anymore. He's like, "Come on, like keep pushing." I'm like, I can't."
Yep.
He's like, "You need to keep going." I'm like, I can't do anymore. What do you want me to do? Yeah, it was a great time.
Yep. I had a very similar experience where I thought I had a bunch of capacity and did my first CrossFit workout and realized, nope, all my capacity just went away.
Yeah,
Not really sure what I've been doing for all these years.
yeah.
That's that's cool. Well, I'm curious, maybe uh what would be some recommendations you would have to, we've got a fair number of police, military, first responder in Linchpin, but this, show might cross somebody else's path who's in the military and would like to expose it to some other people, kind of start to promote a bit more of a physical culture. When you look back, do you have any advice or recommendations to people that want to just, raise their units' physical readiness or their friends or whatever?
Yeah, so I'll maybe just share some of the things that I did or
Mm,
experience I did. So, um, at our unit, we have a thing called like plan of the week, and then you can schedule things in there well in advance, and that we have another algorithm that we use to ensure we're not impeding or conflicting with scheduling with other like large events.
mm,
So I just went to like the senior enlisted leaders, the command master chief and command sergeant major. I was like, hey, we were having like maybe we weren't the best like culture or climate within the command for a period of time, and I was like, hey, why don't we like bring everybody together, like the senior enlisted, and why don't we do like PT every Friday, you know, at whatever time, super early. That way, it's nice and inconvenient for everybody. and
right, yeah, right, exactly.
and then I mean, everyone needs a common enemy. I'm proud to serve.
Yep, yep.
So I was like, hey, let's 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. They won't forget it. So started scheduling some of the PTs. It was like published, like, hey, show up. Wasn't necessarily like 100% mandatory, but strongly encouraged.
Strongly encouraged.
Right. And so we had, and I sent you some of the pictures. We had some great
Oh
participation.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, first, like everybody's just like moaning and groaning, and they're like, oh, why are we here so early? Oh my gosh, I can't do this, and blah, blah, blah. And the MWR, I had them facilitate and lead the classes. So it wasn't like me just yelling at them the whole time.
Gotcha.
So they, at first, there were some resistance, like, oh, well, the time isn't convenient and blah, blah, blah. So we did that like a trial phase for like a quarter. So for 3 months or so. And by the end of it, like they were like, hey, when's the next PT?
That's
When's the
cool.
next PT? It was like, so that was pretty cool. It's like, hey, you just need to act, like just go. Like you're gonna meet resistance no matter what. People are gonna be naysayers no matter what. Like just schedule and execute. And of the group, like if you've got a lot of people complaining, but if you reach one person, to me, in my opinion, that's worth it. And
100%.
maybe that had a factor in some of these guys jumping on board, but um, yeah, this just like it was, like I said, a domino effect. We were doing another program, and I knew like there really wasn't an easy way to like track it, or you got to type in things for for the numbers and the app, whatever. And that's
I
when,
get okay, maybe that leads to I was curious as to there's a lot of options out there. Why did you choose Linchpin?
so we were previously doing another program, and not that one is necessarily better than the other. There's a lot of stylistic stuff in there. But Nick, our corpsman, was like, he's like, hey, he's like, I'm tracking it and beyond the whiteboard app. He's like, I'm and he's following you for a long time, and he's
That's
like,
cool.
He's like, I'm jumping on. He's like, I'm doing Linchpin. And I was like, all right, man. Like, I'll do it with you. Like, let's go. And like his cousin Mike showed up and he's doing it. And it was just like domino. So it's just the
Nice.
platform is awesome. The daily
Oh,
videos is awesome.
BTWB is fantastic.
Yeah. Like you explaining the workouts, essentially giving the whiteboard brief. Here's your warm up. Like it's essentially it's removing so many points of friction.
Mm,
You can pull up any workout from any program online and you don't know the stimulus, the intended stimulus. You don't know, what the weight should feel like. You don't know like, hey, what's the goal or target time for today or how many rounds for today? What
mm,
are the scaling options for that? Um, so that's where like, you've thrown in there and I love the fitness freedom that you've provided. It's like, hey,
100%, man.
this
100%.
doesn't feel good. Do this instead.
So it's always a good idea to do the smart thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, fitness is a long journey. There's no need to ego lift today and then not train right for 6 months.
Yeah, 100%.
I
Yeah.
mean, I've learned that the hard way, and if I can keep people from doing some of the idiotic things that I've done, then that benefits everybody. That's cool.
Another analogy of putting a brick in the wall.
Yes. I mean, oh, I think that's it, man. I mean, if you want to be doing this your whole life, just stack those bricks. I mean, really, just the consistency because I mean, too many people are just all in for a month and they fall off the wagon for 3 weeks. And they go hard for 2 weeks and they're gone for a month. It's like
Right. It's not
it's not going to
sustainable.
serve you well. And then there's a great chance that when you decide to hop back in 100%, you tweak something because you've been off for a month. Like
Yeah.
it's you don't have to have the gas pedal down to the floor every day, but you want to have some pressure on that gas pedal every day. Like you don't want to have the car in park for 2 months.
Right.
It's not gonna go well. Uh, yeah, Kent, man, I appreciate you, man. It's kind of a walk down memory lane, getting to talk to somebody who's still in the Navy doing the thing, and I can tell you as now a very long time as a civilian, I appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate
No,
what all
thank
your
you.
fellow Marines and sailors are doing, and from the bottom of my heart, like, thank you. You probably don't know if you hear it enough, but thank you.
No, I appreciate the support, Pat, and thank you for your service.
No, as I said, I didn't have anything else going on. I was free. But keep up the good work, my friend, and yeah, tell your everyone else that you work out with that it's awesome that they're hitting it hard every day.
No, absolutely. They're doing God's work out there, that's for sure.
And I will send you those people in Greece.
Cool.
All right, man. Later.
All right, thanks, Pat.